Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Short Box. My name is Kevin.
I'm Jarrett.
And I'm Donald. And I'm also going to be introducing a very popular podcaster that you might have heard on for the very first time on this episode of our podcast for the Real Short Box. Matthew Hilton here. Welcome, Matthew.
Welcome, Matthew.
Hi, everybody. This is the sound of my voice.
It certainly is.
We are going to start today's topic with animated movies. Favorite animated movies that we grew up with, or perhaps even caught on to later in adult life. And I'm going to start with Mr. Jared. What is your favorite animated movie?
Well, favorite's a broad word there.
And it's hard.
And it's hard. So what I did is I just chose one of the most recent animated DVDs that I play rather frequently. I would say, maybe once every couple months, when I'm feeling superhero frisky, which
Ooh.
doesn't mean anything.
That sounds like Prime right there.
It sounds like some prime time. So what I chose was the DC Showcase Animated Original Shorts, which was featuring Superman Shazam: The Return of Black Adam.
Nice.
Wow.
Now, if you know a thing or two about Mr. Galante, me, I'm a huge Black Adam fan.
You have him tattooed
Are
on
you?
your body, don't you?
Yeah, I have a tattoo of Black Adam on my back.
I thought it was on your penis.
No, that is Thor's hammer.
Oh,
Yeah, and that one hurt a lot.
yeah.
And I can't even lift it anymore. So I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. So, the feature in this is it's about a 20-minute animated film. It's just okay. I'm a huge As soon as I heard Black Adam, I was on board because I was like, oh cool, we're getting. And these are the same creative people who have done the Justice League movies and their Justice League TV show, and not like Paul Dini them, but it was the same like voice casting. And I think what's his name, Joaquin Dos Santos is a big director of all those episodes.
So, Andrea Romano, those type of people.
Right.
Bruce Timm. maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. So, the main feature, the Superman Shazam Return of Black Adam story, it just gets straight to the point. We start out, which what I love is we start out with these two teenagers at like a lover's lane, and they manage to make, which I love, because I mean this is obviously geared more towards the adult comic fan. This short and the shorts that accompany it, which I will talk about, but so you have these two lovers at Lover's Lane, and within the first 2 minutes they make a boner joke, because the lovers are sitting there, and he's like talking to her, and she's talking to him, and she's like, "Hey, it's something's like, it's getting bigger," and he's like, "What?" And she's like, "That star over there, it's coming at us," and he's like, "Oh," and then it turns out it's Black Adam shooting from space, and he just crashes straight into their car and kills them. That's how you start out the show.
Wow.
Just killing these two lovers at Lover's Lane after a really well-placed dick joke.
Black Adam,
Probably.
the boner killer.
Black Adam, the boner killer.
At least that couple died
Exactly.
with joy.
Exactly.
Did they though?
No, he didn't. He just...
I think so.
No,
I didn't know.
he's a cock blocker.
Right.
That's a special power.
he's a cock blocker, and that guy died with rabid blue balls.
Yeah.
So then we cut to young Billy Batson, and now let me say, just for the Captain Marvel, this is a Captain Marvel origin story tale, which is what's cool about it too. So you have Black Adam just thrown in there. Then you have, oh by the way, Clark Kent, aka Superman, is doing a news article on this young orphan boy Billy Batson, who manages to still have a heart of gold while he's and they have him living in like a straight up ghetto, which I really love. Like they don't like make it like he gets beat up by this like local bully. He lives like next to a prostitute. He's like, "Hey Sally, how's it going?" And she's like, "Oh hey Billy." And I'm like,
I've only had 5 men today.
totally. But that's what's so great about it. They make it like this real, like it's a legit like ghetto. And then
Showing the hoods of
Well,
Metropolis.
then I guess that's where I live too.
exactly, yeah. So it's like
Yes.
it's actually we're coming out of where we where it was where Billy Batson was living in the cartoon. This was based on Donald's house. So but so then you have Clark Kent interviewing Billy Batson. What we don't know is that Black Adam has come to hunt the next bearer of the power of Shazam. Billy Batson doesn't know it's going to be him. So in the middle of this interview with Clark Kent, Black Adam just literally just comes in the middle of the diner and just does his little power slap, like Hulk smash slap, and blows like the windows through. obviously Clark Kent becomes Superman, and he starts a battle with Black Adam. And Billy Batson's just like, what the fuck is going on? But in like a really sweet voice. Yeah. And he's just like, run! Get out of here! And now, obviously, if you don't know Superman, one of his main weaknesses, aside from kryptonite, is magic. Black Adam is magic-based, so he's kind of kicking Superman's ass, or at least he's just going back and forth. And then we cut to the trademark, if you don't know it, the origin story of Billy Batson. He goes on the subway, he meets the wizard Shazam, who is voiced by James Garner, which was so random.
James
like
Garner.
Old school Hollywood, yeah.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, James Garner.
Maverick.
Maverick, yeah. And you can hear it, and he does a great job as the wizard, and he he tells Billy that you're the chosen one.
Touch it.
Exact touch it.
touch
Yeah,
it, Billy.
it does seem like it could get creepy, like some old guy in the in the
Touch
subways,
it, Billy.
in a robe. And then
In a row.
obviously he gets
He likes loose fitting clothing.
Yeah.
All wizards.
so he gets the powers, and then another thing too is I think we have George Newbern doing the voice of Superman, who I think he did it for all the Warner Brothers and
After the animated series.
after
right?
the animated series. I
The
think he
original
did,
Superman animated series.
Yeah.
It was like for Justice League.
for Justice League On, I think it was Newbern.
Oh, so the guy that did Superman in the animated series didn't do Justice League?
Yeah, the Superman animated series was Tim Daly. I
Tim
believe.
Daly, like the big actor.
From Wings.
Yeah, from Wings.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit, I never knew that.
Brother of Time Daly.
Yeah, and then
What?
Newbern did it, all through the Justice League
Yeah.
cartoon.
Wow, they sounded pretty...
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
Pretty similar.
Newbern, I think, is the guy from Father of the Bride. I think that's what he's at. You think he's the groom in that?
Oh, yeah.
okay,
Well, there's
okay.
a picture.
That
of
one
him.
makes
The guy.
sense.
Him?
Oh, yeah, that's totally him. Yeah.
And then Jerry O'Connell, speaking of Justice League, reprises his role as Captain Marvel once the kid
Jerry
Billy Batson
O'Connell is
becomes...
in Scream 2 and Stand By Me.
Stand By Me, yes, yeah.
Or
And Scream
also,
2, yeah.
what was the superhero?
My
show?
Secret
My Secret Identity?
I think that's it.
Where he flew with spray bottles.
Yeah.
He was also in a movie called Buying the Cow, which also had a fellow superhero alumni, Mr. Ryan Reynolds.
Ah.
And Ryan Reynolds was in this scene where he was sneaking out of this girl's apartment. It was like a Coyote Ugly type scenario. And he snuck out the window, and the fire escape stuff started to fall, and he was naked, and he was dangling his junk in front of this old Mexican lady's apartment, and she was doing the dishes, and she saw it, and she started to spray his dick with this hot water, and he started screaming, and then he fell down from the side and kind of scaled down the building, and this little kid's watching the whole thing from across the street. So by the time he gets down to the bottom of the street, the little kid walks over and he's like, "Spider-Man, you're my idol."
And little did he know, he would be Deadpool.
Right, exactly. So it was kind of creepy and hilarious. It's like the best funny scene that you would see in a comedy that you never heard of before.
Penises are funny.
Highly recommend it. Buying the Cow. Watch it.
Behind the cow. So basically, the story after that is straight up Superman, Captain Marvel versus Black Adam, and it's just a straight up fight across the city, Metropolis, or no, Fawcett City, where young Billy lives. And it honestly is just, from that point on, it's just it's a battle. It's just, if you want to see great animation in Superman, Captain Marvel, and Black Adam fighting, watch it. I believe the only thing that was kind of stupid is at the end they pretty much have Black Adam die. He says Shazam and becomes Ash, because he goes back to his regular body and disappears into Ash.
Yeah.
Kevin?
Quick question. You said Fawcett City, right?
Yeah.
Was this named after Fawcett Publications, the original...
I think it had
Publisher
to be, yeah.
of? Yeah,
Publisher
I'm
of.
pretty sure that they
Yeah.
made it. Yeah, Fawcett Publications was like, let's make it Fawcett City.
Yeah.
It's like DC Comics making it. Let's make it DC City.
Yeah.
It's like...
But the real gems on this, I love the Black Adam, Captain Marvel, Superman short is awesome, but
To me, it's the most throwaway of the bunch.
it's the most lackadaisical story. I mean, it's just throw in an origin of Billy Batson, which is cool,
Yeah.
but it's more just, let's just have Black Adam, Superman, and Shazam fight.
Right.
It plays up like one of the old Marvel team up comics from the
Right.
70s.
Right, but they
Which
were-
it's loosely based on the magazine where they first, that big,
Read that battle.
where Superman and Captain Marvel first meet. And I think even Black Adam was in that one. And that's
Right.
just literally what this was.
Yeah.
It was just hey guys, fight, misunderstanding, fight.
Yeah.
Doesn't that Blu-ray also have a Spectre short on
Well,
there?
that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
If you get this DVD, by all means, press play all. Because after the 15-20 minute Black Adam short, you have a Spectre short, a Green Arrow short, and a Jonah Hex short.
Oh,
And they are all lots of fun.
They're all lots of fun. I would say, in order of greatness, the Spectre.
Number one, absolutely.
Then Jonah Hex, and then the Green
Yes.
Arrow one.
Yep, I
The
agree.
Spectre one, I just rewatched these the other night. The Spectre one is so goddamn good. Each one has its own look and feel. The Spectre one has, first off, the voice acting of the Spectre is Gary Cole, who, if you don't know, is Office Space, the boss.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And he does this amazing, like, tough guy voice, and then he also does this evil Spectre voice.
I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday.
Yeah.
Brady Bunch movie too.
Brady Bunch movie. Well, that's a great character actor.
Yeah.
And-
American Gothic.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Right. So the cool thing about this story, though, is it takes place in the 70s, obviously. They even made the animation look grainy, like an old 70s film.
Yeah. That's
cool.
The music is 70s. You start out with this film producer dying in an explosion in his mansion in the Hollywood Hills. And then you have this, like, film noir narration from Corrigan, the cop, who we know is the Spectre. And he starts trying to solve the crime of who killed this guy, and he finds out it was like these disgruntled makeup artists and a disgruntled stunt driver who didn't get to work on his movie that the producer they killed. And there's this awesome scene where he goes in and kills each person he kills. If you know the Spectre books, he kind of kills them in a creative way, right? Like
Yeah.
a kind of vengeful way of what they. So the makeup guy, he goes into this like FX shop and has all of his creatures come alive and start attacking him.
Right.
And there's ones that are like based on The Exorcist, King Kong, and they're just it's a real creepy short, and it's really good. Stunt driver, he has this, it's like Stephen King. He has like his car come alive and like chase him.
Yeah.
And we find out at the end, spoilers, it was all set up by the daughter of the producer. So for money. And so he has the money shoot out of the box of the suitcase where it is and shred her to pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
That's
And-
called poetic justice.
Right, and
Everything
all of
was-
these, all of these came like originally these little short vignettes, so to speak. They were like the precursor to an actual animated movie,
Right.
full length. So if you bought, like, for example, maybe I don't know, like one of the Batman movies, maybe the Spectre would be on
it,
in
yeah.
front of that.
Yeah.
That you could watch first, kind of like they used to do old school
Yeah,
Warner
back in the day.
Brothers. You
Yep.
get like a Looney Tunes cartoon
Yeah.
ahead of whatever you were
Yeah,
watching.
Looney
And they
Tunes,
stopped-
Newsreel, and the movie.
And the sad
Yeah.
thing is they still do the DC features, but they stopped doing the short. The only one they did that's not on this was a Catwoman one, which was okay, but they haven't done it since. And these showcases were so good because they took characters like the Spectre and got to do these stories that you would not see in any other format unless it was in this vein.
Yeah,
And that short format, I'm sure, allowed them to be a little bit more riskier
Oh, for sure.
because they didn't have to devote all that money to like a feature length.
Not at
And
all.
It'd be more of a love letter cartoon.
Exactly, and that's what the Spectre one was. The Green Arrow one was fun. You had, token Green Arrow villains. You had Merlin, who was actually voiced by Malcolm McDowell, which was kind
Really?
of cool. Yeah. And then you had Count Vertigo. So you had like these cool villains, but it was once again it was like a standard just Green Arrow story. He's protecting this girl and against the villains, and Black Canary shows
who
up.
played Green Arrow?
It was the guy from Arrow. Strangely enough, Damon Dark from Arrow, who sucks on that. I hate that character on that show.
Nothing against the actor
Nothing
himself.
against the actor. I've seen him in many things.
the
Neil
guy-
Neil McDonough.
Okay.
I've seen him in plenty of things, and he's a fine actor. But the role of Damon Dark is so crappy on Arrow. I can't. It ruined that whole season for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to kind of breeze by Arrow. The Green Arrow one was good. It's definitely good. But the Jonah Hex one is really fun too. It's this dark western. Other great voice actors and just actors. Thomas Jane, the Punisher, Boogie Nights, one of my favorite characters in Boogie Nights, does Jonah Hex. Linda Hamilton does Madame Lorraine, who we find out she's actually the villain in it.
Nice.
And Michael Rooker does a voice. He does one of the outlaws. He does a Red Doc. And this is another kind of straight Jonah Hex story. It's just he's going to look for a bounty. What's cool though is you think Michael Rooker, who is the bounty that he's going after, is going to be the villain. And it's going to be like a shootout or something like that. But what we're finding out is that this Madame Lorraine is killing all these like outlaws and like taking all their money and then just with the help of like a couple accomplices and then just throwing them in this mine shaft. So Jonah Hex is like he realizes the guy disappeared in this saloon where Madame Lorraine works and operates. Finds out it's her. It's double crossing that she'd been double crossing him and double crossing other people. And he says, "Take me to where Red Doc is. That's all I care about. I want my bounty." So she takes him down to the mine shaft, and he lowers her down there, and he lowers himself down there. He says, "Send up the body." He takes the body, and he just leaves her down there with all these rotting corpses of all the people that she killed. And he's like, "I don't give a shit about you. I got my bounty, and you're a cold-blooded murderer. See you later." So yeah, it's these dark or fun. It's a good mixture of dark and then fun with the stories.
Very adult.
Very adult, yeah.
And Thomas Jane, I think he like campaigned for Jonah Hex at one point. I remember.
Oh,
I remember
really?
there was like pictures of him like in makeup before Brolin got cast, like trying to put out.
Brolin is just cock blocks. Speaking of cock blocks, he's
Yeah.
cock blocking everybody.
Well,
Yeah.
well, to be fair, I think Affleck cock blocked Brolin for Batman
Oh, really?
because he was one of the contenders.
Oh, wow.
I don't want any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, Brolin I love, and I
love Brolin. Yeah, I do love
Goonies love Brolin.
I Goonies
okay?
love Brolin, too.
I Goonies love
I know
Brolin.
Country for Old Men. Josh Brolin love.
You would. But he's already playing Thanos. Why make him another Marvel character?
Yeah, Cable.
It's
At
bizarre.
this
It's bizarre.
recording, Cable. They just announced the whole Cable
Which is bizarre.
Brolin casting. I don't not like it. I just when you had all the names that were out there before, like especially Michael Shannon.
Absolutely.
Not only that, I saw Josh Brolin in Hollywood because we're all in Hollywood. We're big time.
Right.
As in, I was just driving back from work, and he's short. He's a short dude. Like, he's not big. And Cable should be at least a bigger, bulkier guy. So when it was Michael Shannon, not only is that guy a great actor, but he's tall.
Yeah.
So I thought he would tower over Reynolds.
I would have
Yeah.
gone with Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, Brolin's probably
Hands
a lot
down.
shorter than Reynolds, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't know how
Pierce
that's gonna work.
Brosnan, hands down. He
don't
played
know.
Bond. Come on, he can
He
do
seemed
anything.
a little too old. I know Cable is on that
Cable's like in
cusp.
his 40s. Like in his 40s.
Yeah, but he's like in his 60s.
Yeah,
or
he's in his
something.
60s now.
Which is fine.
The only old one I would have went with was Dolph
Maybe we play
Lundgren.
Corsair.
Yeah.
and I'd be fine
Dolph, no.
Dolph would have looked great. He would have
He
looked
would have
great.
looked the
Dolph-
part,
Dolph
but
would
Dolph's
look
not.
great. Well, here's the thing, like if we cast
Same height
old,
too, practically.
these guys have to sign like a 4-movie contract
Mm-hmm,
because they're gonna want them for Deadpool 2, a Cable solo movie,
Yeah.
2 X-Force movies.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's what's.
Well, I mean,
the
Brolin's
problem.
no spring chicken, though.
No,
No.
He's got to be in mid-50s at least, I would say.
Early 50s, I
And
think.
Shannon's probably there, too. But, I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with it. I'd rather him than a lot of other people.
I have a nice little team up for you that I think you would appreciate, Jared. The Spectre and the Fool Killer together.
That would be some crazy dresses. Although at one point the Spectre would probably be like, "You're a little too crazy, Fool
Why
Killer."
would that be a team up?
Because he
Because
loves
they-
the Fool
they
Killer.
dole out
Do you
their
Spectre
come
loves
here
justice.
already drunk sometimes?
No.
I'm just wondering because the Spectre is like basically the hand of God, and
Yeah.
the Fool Killer's nothing like the hand. He doesn't think he's the hand of God. He just doesn't suffer fools. That's such a big
Live
difference.
a poem or die a fool.
That's such a big difference. It's like saying I'd like to see a team up of Robin and the Savage Dragon. Why? Why on earth?
I'm just trying to live in Jared's mind for a moment because I know
That's
he
not
loves...
going to
Oh,
happen.
you don't want to live in my mind.
No, don't
you don't
do
want
it.
to be here, man.
No, man.
Fuck out of my mind.
Don't you wish that evil on him?
So, on that note, that is the Superman Shazam Return of Black Adam. If you want to get this DVD, it's the DC Showcase Animated Original Shorts. I highly recommend it. It's probably super cheap. Super cheap. And it's got all those 3 shorts and the Black Adam story, which is, I think, like 15, 20 minutes. The other ones are about, like, 5 or something like that. 10 minutes. I don't know. So that's that. Kevin, you going to go?
I think I will. My movie is a classic film, animated film for those who are over the age of 30, certainly know quite well.
Snow White. Beautiful film. First Disney feature.
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry.
It is the 80th anniversary of Snow White.
Oh, look
That's
at
true.
that. Guy knows his years and everything.
But I'm going with the 1986 classic, Transformers the movie. In my opinion, the true and only Transformers movie out there. No offense to Michael Bay, but I think none of his films hold up to this.
I'm okay with offending Michael Bay.
Yeah, I was literally just gonna be like,
But he has
I
fans
don't
out there. He has fans out there
I
who will
think
be
we were
offended.
all waiting to fight to chime in on that one.
Guy's gonna do fine. He's made plenty of money, but goddamn, I can't take another Michael Bay film.
I mean, I don't know if necessarily that I can't take another Michael Bay film, but I can't take another Michael Bay Transformers film.
And don't they have like 5 in the
Yes.
like down
Their
Four,
fifth one-
four. They're
I
on
think
the
the fifth
fifth
one.
one's coming now. First one, I will say
okay.
I enjoyed
was okay.
enough.
It was okay.
After that, all goddamn downhill.
Mm-hmm.
All downhill.
Especially that third one. It was ridiculous. And it was ridiculously long, too. It was almost 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're way too long. They're confusingly Transformers.
And not only that, with the exception of like maybe one of them in his version of the movies, don't have much soul to their character. You know what I mean?
Oh wait, did you just say Michael Bay characters don't have soul in there? Yeah, that's kind of, yeah. There's pretty explosions, and then the thing that Transformers that bugs me the most is the look of them. It
Yes.
doesn't look. Nothing is distinguishable. It just looks like a bunch of
Junkyard.
scrap metal.
It's like junkyard
Yeah.
scrap
There's-
that transform into a a robot.
That's what they
or
should have
something.
called it. They
Sharp-
shouldn't. They shouldn't have called it. They should call it junkyard scrap.
Scrap formers.
Yeah.
Transformers. There you go.
They just look like sharp edges that would be hard toys to step on.
Yeah.
Sharpnado.
But as you guys know, all of us here grew up watching the cartoon, got attached to many of these characters, especially like Optimus Prime, Starscream,
I
Megatron.
stepped on one once and it was stuck in my foot for like days, so I definitely got attached.
Oh, well, that's not good. But anyway, this movie is a classic. From the very beginning, this is a very dark film. The producers decided to go down a very dark path with this movie, as you guys may remember if you've seen it. What?
Kevin, I was haunted by this. I'm an Ironhide fan. Number one, my number one Transformer hero.
Really?
Ironhide, the red van
Yeah.
guy. And
He was gone in the first 10 minutes.
My
They killed him in
God.
the first 10?
First 10 minutes.
I haven't seen this in forever, but
To
I remember
see-
this movie being very, very great.
Megatron transform into that gun and Starscream point it and shoot Ironhide and him like, oh!
Well,
I
know.
was like,
He got the worst of it.
ah!
Do you remember what his last line was when Megatron was talking about his plans, his schemes to go to Autobot series? He's like, "No!" And he looks at him. Megatron looks at him and is like, "Such heroic nonsense!" And just finishes him off, just blows him to smithereens.
Yep.
I was like, "Man, this movie went down a very dark path. They weren't playing games.
No.
From the very beginning." You see the famous planet Unicron, played by the great late Orson Welles, which happened to be his last film.
And that is the Orson fucking Welles.
I mean, that voice,
Do you like peas? Frozen peas.
that voice,
Finders Norway.
yeah.
Fish sticks.
Fish sticks.
yes, that
Crispy,
Crumbly
crumbly
crust.
crust.
that voice, man, that voice that he played, that he did Unicron with was just powerful. I mean, you knew he was the perfect voice for Unicron. I mean,
Made your dick hard.
it's basically Galactus, but a more extreme version, in my opinion. He just comes and just sucks the life out of your planet, destroys it completely. Any life on it, destroyed immediately, without mercy.
I would have paid to have a Fantastic Four cartoon with Orson Welles doing Galactus.
Oh
That
my
would've been
goodness!
shit.
Could you
That
imagine?
would have been
Could
awesome.
you imagine? My goodness.
Or if the second what was that movie with God damn it, with what's his name? Vin Diesel. The Pitch Black. What was the sequel to that?
Riddick.
Oh, the Chronicles of
Chronicles
Riddick.
of Riddick.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah.
I would have paid to have seen them do something like they did in Transformers of Chronicles of Riddick, like where it was. I know they tried to do that, but then it got stuck in this like prison thing for most of the movie, and it just was terrible. But if they would have tried that, it would have been. I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm drunk.
That's all right.
Keep going, Kev.
Yeah, basically what happens is you see the beginning of the movie, Unicron comes, destroys some poor little robot's planet, and captures him. And then you get to Cybertron. You find out in the voiceover that Decepticons have conquered Cybertron. The Autobots are on the retreat. They retreat to these 2 moon bases and also Earth to try to plan a counter attack because they are low on energon cubes, which was the fuel for the Transformers.
Right.
And of course, little Megatron's little bird, Laserbeak, or actually Soundwave's spy. Laserbeak goes.
Your
and-
favorite Transformer.
He's one of them.
One of them.
Soundwave.
Soundwave and
And Blaster.
yep.
Soundwave was cool.
Soundwave was
Yeah.
cool. So, Decepticons do their little spying, and they find out the information, what the Autobots are up to. So they get on that ship, they invade the Autobot ship, they intercept it on the way to Earth, and they kill Ironhide, Ratchet, a couple other unfortunate Transformers, and they get to Earth, attack Autobot City, and kill some more Autobots. And you also get introduced to some of the newer Autobots, like Hot Rod, Cup, Blur, the first female Transformer, RC, or at least actually I shouldn't say that, but the one that they debuted with in the movie.
And this was in the theater, right?
This would debut
I
in the
just
theater.
see all these like 7, 8-year-old kids with their like dad that they like
In
bug
shock.
to take, just
In
like
shock.
yeah, just Dad, like holding that toy that just got
Yep.
killed.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shitting their pants.
Yeah.
And
They traumatize these kids
Yep.
enough that their parents had to buy them a new Transformer.
pretty much. Well, you see, that was Hasbro Toys' plan, because Hasbro, since they obviously own the rights, they dictated many of the decisions on the show, as well as G.I. Joe and all the other Marvel Sunbow shows. And basically, the whole idea was they were discontinuing a lot of those toys from the first 2 seasons. So that's why we saw a lot of these robots were killed off, because they're introducing the new line of toys that they want the parents to buy for the kids.
so some evil Hasbro
Corporate executive.
up in the tall building
Kill
in
'em.
Manhattan. Someone was like,
Kill 'em.
"This is what we do.
That's what we do.
We kill the toys. We kill the characters. Get new toys,
So they
and
buy.
sell the new toys.
That's right.
Money, 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 money.
Kill the characters."
Now, during the attack on Autobot City, things get so bad that Blaster, the Autobots version of a cassette player, in this case, like a little boom box, he has to send a signal out to Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime comes with the Dinobots to kick some ass, and Optimus Prime and Megatron have their final battle. And fortunately, Hot Rod, the little hotshot, little teenage Autobot, interferes in the battle and basically gets Optimus Prime killed.
That's right. Optimus fucking Prime died.
Yes, and
Because of Judd Nelson.
because of Judd Nelson, who voiced Hot Rod.
This is what you get for spilling paint in the garage, Judd Nelson.
Yeah.
That was a Breakfast Club reference.
This
for
was one of the most
2 people.
This is one of the most dramatic, shocking deaths for many of our childhoods. Seeing Optimus Prime die. I mean, kids cry. I mean, I didn't see the movie in theaters. I saw it like on VHS later. But I remember kids in school were telling me, Optimus Prime is dead. They killed Optimus Prime. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Punch him in the face.
And it
Fuck
kinda,
you, you're
then
lying.
It kind of turned to like black and white dog shit color like E.T.
Yes, yes. He turned gray when he officially died. Yes, he turned gray, and that was it. His soul left the body. All that good stuff. Now, one thing that was interesting about the movie, one thing I like about these '80s cartoons, this is how I learned so much of my vocabulary. I never heard of the term the Matrix before until I saw the movie, the Transformers
That's
the
right,
movie.
yeah.
Because he had the Matrix of leadership. I was like, wow, it looks pretty cool. I mean, he takes out this like thing out of his chest. It's all glowing.
It's like Iron Man.
Yeah, it's like Iron Man. And he passes over to Ultra Magnus, who becomes the new leader.
Which I had the toy of.
I had Hot Rod, the Hot Rod toy, and I
Yes.
remember seeing the movie and going like, "Wait, I have." It was like one of those cool things. Like,
Right.
I have Hot Rod.
I got that
Cool.
toy.
I got Hot Rod. I didn't
Well,
have Hot Rod as pimp.
Your parents did exactly what those Hasbro executives wanted.
They did, yeah.
Buy the next set of toys.
Probably on sale.
Well,
At least
no,
it was for me.
It was my dad smacked me, and then he said, "Look, I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you." And then my mom kicked me, and they bought me the Transformer. I don't know why. Why are we talking about this? Can we just get on with the Transformers?
Yes.
thing?
Anyway, after Optimus dies, the team gets split up, and they go into space, and they find one of my favorite, most gruesome-looking villains I've ever seen, the Quintessons. These 5-headed robotic creatures, which just capture robots or other creatures and just execute them for no reason.
Guilty or innocent.
And they go, innocent, and it just
then
kills
they
you.
kill you.
So it's ironic. It's kind of like,
Yeah. And I think on the series they actually brought Optimus back.
yes, they did. They did bring him back.
They're like, too many kids are having nightmares.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it was a decision because the backlash was so bad that, yes, 1
Yeah.
year later, they actually created a 2-part series called The Return of Optimus
Yeah.
Prime just to
With
please.
that multi-headed character. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
But
Take that, corporate America.
They even had a
More
Weird
profits.
Al Yankovic song.
Yeah.
yes, Born to be Stupid or something
Born
like
to be
that?
stupid.
I
Dare to
think
be
so.
stupid.
Dare,
I
sorry,
believe.
Dare to be Stupid. Dare to be Stupid.
Devo takeoff that the creators of Devo actually said they wish they had written. It was
Really?
So good.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I believe they played that song on another character they introduced, a new character called Wreck-Gar, one of the Junkions. I believe they played
Yes.
that song when they're on the
He was a
planet Junk.
motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, motorcycle. Now, here's one thing that pissed me off about the movie that didn't make sense to me as a kid and even now. If you remember, the Matrix of Leadership was taken from Ultra Magnus by Galvatron, which, by the way, I forgot to let me pre-reference that. Megatron gets turned into Galvatron when he meets Unicron
Because
after the battle.
Starscream basically.
Starscream portrayed him just tossed him out.
Megatron's like dying, and Starscream kicks him out
Kicks
of
him
the
out of
airlock.
Astro Train.
Which
yeah.
is a good payoff because that's something that if
Yes.
you watch the series was always there in the
Yes.
back, in the background.
He's always looking to stab him in the back somehow.
Yeah.
But yes, again, discontinued the toy line. A lot of the old Transformers like Megatron, Thundercracker, Starscream, they were phased out or taken out in some way. But anyway, they're on the planet Junkion. They meet Wreck-Gar. Yeah, and he basically rebuilds Ultra Magnus after he was basically blown up to pieces by Galvatron. And it makes you wonder, How's it this guy gets blown into 1,000 pieces? You could put him back together and reactivate him, but yet Optimus Prime, there's no help for him.
Because he became gray.
I guess so.
Yep. E.T'd.
But as the movie goes along, you learn a little subplot. What was that?
Ultra Magnus was a repaint of Optimus Prime.
Yeah, he looks like a future version of him, essentially, like a
So-
futuristic trailer.
And I never got Optimus Prime as a kid, so getting Ultra Magnus was the second best thing.
Yeah,
I was thrilled.
So the reason they got rid of Optimus Prime is because they were
Make
using,
ways for
they were
Ultra
using
Magnus.
his mold for
Ultra Magnus.
Ultra Magnus
God
Indeed.
damn. He's greedy.
with a new
bastards.
trailer that sucked.
It did. It did suck. You're right. It was terrible.
This doesn't hold any cars in it.
But get back to the subplot with the Matrix. When Megatron's reformed to Galvatron, he makes it with Unicron that he'll get the Matrix and whatever, destroy it for Unicron. Unicron wants the Matrix out the way because that's the only thing that can apparently destroy him. So, of course, Galvatron, being Galvatron, or being Decepticon, decides, I got the Matrix. Now I'm going to go after go after Unicron and make him my slave. But, of course, underestimating what Unicron really is, you see Unicron take like about 6 months to transform into his true robot form, which looks pretty cool. You remember that, fellas, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he looked like this demonic-looking angel robot, huge, and basically Unicron's like, okay, you basically are disrespecting me. I'm going to go and destroy your whole planet of Cybertron. So he goes there and he starts attacking Cybertron, and basically the Autobots and Decepticons, for all intents and purposes, have to team up and unincidentally to take on Unicron from the inside and outside, because he also has some Transformers inside him. Some of the Autobots got stuck in there. So
Yeah, he
and so
swallows
on.
them and shit,
He
yeah.
swallows some of them. And eventually Galvatron and Hot Rod meet up, and Unicron tells him to destroy him, to kill him, because he kind of like knew that Hot Rod had a special gift.
Right.
So while they're going at it, Hot Rod grabs the Matrix, and of course we hear that most famous song from the movie from Stan Bush. You got the touch. You got the power. Yes.
Which, if you've seen Boogie Nights,
Yeah.
you know Dirk Diggler
Yeah.
stole it. Goddamn stole it.
Stole that song.
Or did he originate it?
That's the thing. It's like, what was Paul Thomas Anderson going for with that? Was he like trying to be like, hey, this guy's so bad, he would have like written the Transformer song? Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he technically died in the Wonderland murder, so I think that would be
that's true.
That's true.
that would be before.
That'd be
Transformers.
early '80s. Yeah.
Yeah, early 80s, something like that. Late 70s, early 80s. But anyway, once that happens, you see crazy explosion. Unicron gets destroyed. His head like orbits Cybertron, and of course, you see Rodimus Prime become the new leader of the Transformers. Being the guy who likes their darkest hour, and that's the end of the movie.
Wow.
Now, what's interesting is this had an all-star cast of voice talent. You had Peter Cullen, of course, who played Optimus Prime, as well as your buddy Ironhide.
Yes.
Judd Nelson, as one of you mentioned, played Hot Rod Rodimus Prime. One of my favorite hosts of all time. I was a big fan of Unsolved Mysteries. Robert Stack played Ultra Magnus in the
Oh, yeah.
movie.
Did he?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Update.
Yes.
God damn it, open.
And it was never solved.
Frank Welker, voice of Megatron, and of course another personal favorite actor of mine who played Galvatron, the late great Leonard Nimoy,
That's right.
Mr.
That's
Spock.
right.
And for all you guys who are and guys and gals who are over the age of 30, John Moschita Jr. played Blur, but he's also known for the Micro Machines Man.
Yes.
Talking guy.
Yeah, the swag talking guy.
Yeah, whatever happened to that dude?
And Frank Welker as the rest.
Yes, that's the rest. Scatman Crothers played Jazz, and out.
Yes. And
Well, the guy in The Shining, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
I'm a scat man.
Scat. Scatman.
Scatman.
Say that in Germany, it's a whole different thing.
And of course, I
You
can't.
want the Scatman credits? Okay, sit down. Lay down.
Scatman Crusties?
Chris
So
Latta,
wrong.
Starscream, also played Cobra Commander. A very distinct voice you can't forget.
How did that guy do like a full day of like voiceover work without like just not being able to like speak for another week?
That's because that's how he sounded in real life.
Hey guys.
Well, I think, was it Frank? We're talking about Frank Welker?
No, Chris Latta.
Chris Lott. Oh, yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
Casey Kasem, I didn't know this, played Cliff Jumper.
Casey Kasem.
Oh yeah, Casey Kasem did a lot of voice. He was Shaggy from
Yeah.
Scooby Doo.
Shaggy, yeah.
Another guy from a famous outtake tape.
Oh yeah.
And of course, Jared's
Nice.
favorite Dinobot, Grimlock, was played by Greg Berger.
Ah, Mr. Burger. I do love a good cheeseburger.
And once again, last but not least, an all-time Hollywood classic man, Orson Welles, played the voice of Unicron.
Awesome. Awesome.
And that's it. I mean, this is a great classic film. If you have a chance, check it out. Check out the 20th anniversary edition. You might get to hear the original curse words that they cut out of the original VHS edition.
That's right. Transformers said naughty words.
Did. With that being said, I think I'm gonna segue over to my choice, which was Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Another classic.
Yes, great classic. Most of you have probably seen it that have listened. This came out in 1993. It was directed by Eric Radominsky and Bruce Timm. It's based on the hit TV series Batman the Animated Series.
Hated that series.
Me too. It was
Said
so
no one ever.
bad. I have like so many figures
Said
above your
Casey
head.
Kasem.
Said Casey. I did not like that.
This was written by Alan Burnett, Paul Dini, Martin Pascoe, and Michael Reeves. Stars the voice talents of Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, of course, who were respectively Batman and the Joker, the yin to the yang. It revolved around Batman attempting to apprehend a mysterious vigilante known as the Phantasm, who's murdering Gotham City's crime bosses, which to me isn't like the worst thing in the world.
No. But Batman doesn't like death.
Right, he doesn't like people getting shot and killed, I guess. I don't know. Film was originally thought to be a direct-to-video release, but Warner Brothers was like, hey guys, let's go ahead and do a theatrical release. Gave the filmmakers like 8 months then to figure out how to get this finished. It was released in December on Christmas Day, 1993. I went to the theater to see this, guys.
Oh, really?
On Christmas Day.
Really?
It was amazing.
Wow.
It was one of the best experiences I ever had in the movies.
You're like, wow.
Yep, and it's pretty much because I discovered my penis. But
Whoa.
that's another
Something
story.
about
At
It's
age,
fantastic.
at age 14, you discovered it, huh? My goodness.
Yes, I was a
Late bloomer.
late bloomer. Yes.
You were like, what does the word phantasm sound like? That's so orgasm.
which I'm having now.
Was this ectoplasm?
That's with my dad. You know, it was awkward, but whatever. But the plot was basically your very old revenge plot, so to speak. It starts out with a group of crime bosses that they're holding a conference in Gotham in a skyscraper, and they're discussing laundering millions of money, counterfeit money in a casino. Batman bursts in, and he busts them up and basically knocks them all out, except for this guy named Chucky Soul. Chucky Soul flees, he escapes, he goes to a parking garage where he sees Batman, or we think it's Batman. It's actually not Batman, it's the Phantasm, who basically lures Chucky into driving off the edge of the parking garage into the side of another building, thereby killing himself. We then get to see a flashback that Bruce has where he meets a girl named Andrea Beaumont. And Andrea was somebody that was one of his very first loves. Somebody that was near and dear to him. He met her at a cemetery when he was visiting his parents' grave.
That's God.
Eventually, they fall in love, and he decides that he's going to abandon the idea of him fighting crime as Batman to be with her.
Cool.
So this was like the one girl that got him to leave, to believe in himself and not, try to carry on and fight for everyone. So basically, he gives her a ring. He's like, I want to marry you. I love you. I want to be with you. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. And so she goes to her dad, and something happens, and he gets a package in the mail. Alfred delivers it to him, and it's a ring with a note, and it's a Dear John letter, basically saying, look, I decided my dad has to leave. I'm going with my father. I love you, but I can't be with you. So Batman's like, fuck this shit.
I'm going to be extra bad guy.
Right. I'm going to go extra Batman. So basically, it goes into where then after the flashback, there's another gangster. His name's Buzz Bronski, and he's going to the cemetery to put flowers on Chucky Soul's grave, or one of the other gangsters. I believe it's Chucky Soul's. And while he's there, the Phantasm shows up. And basically, he's running and trying to flee through the cemetery, and he falls into a grave.
Nice.
And a giant headstone of an angel gets pushed onto him, thereby killing him.
This is even, because the series was like that noir feel to it, which made it so great. But this is like extra dark.
Yeah, very dark, very dark.
Very intense.
So, basically, with the death of Bronski, another gangster named Salvatore Valestra, I think they call him the Weasel in the movie. He is so scared now because everybody thinks it's the Batman doing it. So he thinks the Batman's gone off his rocker. So he's like, oh my God, I need to find protection. So he goes to the one man that you would go to protect you, the Joker.
Smart?
Yeah, not even like the Penguin.
Yeah.
Right. Or, somebody
Guy
that
you can
would-
actually work with, have
right,
a conversation
that
with.
you could reason with.
Yeah.
But he goes to the Joker, and I think it's because of the history that they have, and they show this in the movie, that they do have some history.
Okay.
Batman then does meet Andrea again in the present time. He runs into her, and he's like, hey, what's up? And he's like, oh my God, it's so good seeing you, blah, blah, blah. And they decide that they're going to maybe possibly rekindle this relationship that's been burning at both ends for so long.
Right.
And meanwhile, then Valestra is at his house chilling. The Phantasm shows up, and we realize that Valestra has been murdered by the Joker. Spoilers. And is sitting there with like a bomb attached to him, an explosive.
Because that seems like the Joker would be like, well, I did catch him for you.
Right, yeah. So the Phantasm barely escapes the explosion. And it comes to find out later that Batman comes head-to-head with the Joker. The Phantasm is revealed as Andrea Beaumont,
Right.
the love of his life. And it's like, what do you do in this type of situation? You have to, obviously the Joker needs to be put down, so to speak. But Andrea is so bent on killing everyone. How do you stop her from killing everyone? How do you stop the love of your life from being the love of your life, because she's a murderer,
Right.
and she's doing the wrong things, but she's doing it for the right reasons, but it's the wrong way to go about it. So
Right.
it's this catch-22 conundrum. Yeah, this conflict that happens. It's such a good movie, guys. I don't want to go too far into it because I want everybody that's listening that hasn't seen it to watch it, to enjoy it, because it's something I feel that everybody needs to experience for themselves. Highly recommend it. The Joker's off the hook on this one. Mm-hmm. I believe like when we get reintroduced to him later, because we see him in a flashback, and he's pre-Joker, and he's a real dick. But in the present time, he's like at this World of Tomorrow fair.
Oh, that's cool.
And, it's like run down and stuff. And there's a robot dog that's barking, and he kicks the dog. And he has this, there's a lady with a knife that's showing that, robots can chop things for you in the future.
Right.
And, he's like, oh, honey. And he pinches her cheek, and part of her face falls off and stuff. So it's got that usual charm that comes with the Joker, kind of sarcastic, crazy,
Demented
fun,
charm,
demented stuff. It's just a really good story. In the end, we find that, things are revealed, things happen, villains are put away, and Batman kind of remains Batman. But what happens in between there, I feel like you need to watch it to find out.
Right.
It's just so good. Highly recommend.
Our special guest, you got something here?
Okay, I'll make it short and sweet.
Okay.
I would recommend the recent Wonder Woman cartoon.
From the DC animated
Yeah.
universe. Came out, about 5 to 8 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like I just thought it was like a really good setup for that character, because I was not really a Wonder Woman fan, and I thought that that was like a good introduction to like a not a fan. Like it
Right.
really sets her up really well, and you've got like grand battles. You get to see how badass Wonder Woman is. She's fighting Ares.
Yeah. Doesn't she like cut somebody's head off and
Yeah.
fucking holds it up?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
and
insane.
there's like just like Greek demons and shit. At the end of the movie.
It's really good. Have you
That's
seen
cool.
it?
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
I recommend it.
It's probably one of my favorite of the DC non-Batman movies.
Definitely, yeah. In fact,
It was well
that
done.
was one that they were trying.
Yeah.
They were like, let's put this out there.
Yeah.
And it did so poorly.
Right.
Yeah.
They after that decided, well, we're gonna probably
Yeah.
just mainly do Batman and Superman.
Yeah, but it was besides the reception. I think the movie is better than the reception it got.
Right.
I agree. Yeah. Well, so we've had some great discussion. We've had Superman, Shazam. We've had the Spectre, Jonah Hex, Green Arrow,
Yeah, and those are all in one DVD. But
all in one DVD. We've had the Transformers movie, Unicron, Galvatron, all those guys. We've had Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, and we've had an introduction to Wonder Woman, a very powerful female superhero in the DC universe. All these things are available on DVD, if not Blu-ray. Highly recommend it. Check it out. Also, check us out. Check us out on Facebook.
YouTube, iTunes, Twitter.
Subscribe to everything, not just one of these things.
Show us some love.
Everything.
Spread
Our
the word.
Instagram is off the hook.
Yeah, our Instagram is off the hook.
Spread
crazy.
the word. Your friends and family will love it.
They'll love you for it.
Show it to random people in the park.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just say, listen.
No, not that. Not that.
Well, I've done that. I mean, I had to go to jail.
No. The social media.
Oh, okay.
Just run up and put your earbuds in people's ears.
Yep.
And do that. So with that, we'll see you